everybody. Now we're going to be talking about this very cool group in the Moncton area called Moncton Multiples. It's a group that actually my wife's been involved with for some time now. You guys do some really cool stuff. I think what's interesting is I don't know if people fully understand what goes into having twins or triplets. Both of you have sets, is that right?
We both have twins.
Okay,
yes.
You both have twins. Okay, so let's talk about the group, what you guys do in your upcoming fundraiser. Let's get into that. Why is there a need for a group like this, for parents that have twins or more? Why was there a need for this group to be created? Take your flip a coin.
Who wants to jump in? You had your twins first. You get to answer.
Oh, okay. Lucky me.
It's democratic.
Well, from a personal perspective, I think that it's important to have a support group because the day that I found out I was having twins, it was kind of like, oh my goodness, like, how am I going to do this? And then when you meet other people that have twins, you can see from their perspective that they've made it through the haze, the madness. They can offer advice, give you tips on things to do and things not to do. So that, from my perspective, as my personal experiences, that was tremendous. So that's a good starting point, I guess, for like our group, like the one thing that we do from the beginning.
Yeah, and when you get out of those initial stages and you start to want to go out and take your kids to events, there is a little bit of an apprehension and sometimes even a stigma attached to taking, two toddlers out in public that in your heart are going to go in two separate directions. How are you going to deal with that? And if you're surrounded and you're going to an event that is full of other families with multiples, you know that they get what that craziness can be, and you don't feel like you're going to be judged by them as you might be by someone else in the public. Whether they're judging you or not, you feel like they might be.
Way, absolutely. Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I was talking about this with my wife, and when you hear people say something ridiculous like having twins is twice the fun, doesn't that just make you want to punch them in the face, though?
If I'm being brutally honest, yes.
Let me know that Sarah does want to punch people in the face.
Yes. Some of the questions that you get, people don't know that some of them are borderline, maybe inappropriate.
Or just don't make any sense.
Or don't make any sense.
Like asking if your boy-girl twins are identical.
Yeah. And so
they can't be, sorry.
Yeah, no. And so when you get to hear them over and over and people don't know, like the next person is going to ask you the exact same question, it gets frustrating.
Yeah. I mean, I sympathize. I have two kids that are not twins, and I was just talking to one of my coworkers upstairs about this group, and we were just going on about how, like, if for me, the idea of having twins would just be ridiculous.
It can be kind of terrifying.
I might consider selling one to science.
Yeah. Well, they do a lot of testing with twins, actually. They make great test subjects. They do.
Well,
it's a built-in control group. Not that they're doing like animal testing on our children.
That took a weird turn.
It's another form of fundraising.
Let's talk about what your group does. You guys have some cool programs. Let's talk about some of the programs and some of the initiatives that you guys do. I mean, one of the things that I think, Jenna, you were talking about on the phone is just people don't even realize or might not realize that a lot of twins are born prematurely. So that comes with a whole other set of headaches.
Yes, yeah, and that was the case for us. Our twins were born at 32 weeks gestation, so about 2 months before they were due. They were due in April. They showed up in February. Wow. Yeah. About 60% of multiples do end up being born premature. A lot of that number are more late-term preemies, so they're much closer to, their anticipated due date. So their complications are usually less, whereas with 32-weekers, or we have a lot of sets that are born even before that, that are 25, 28, 30-weekers. We have a lot of those in the group. That usually is going to mean you're in the hospital for 2 months, usually until about the expected due date. So we have a lot of families that spend the first chunk of their time in a very strange setting, and that's when a group like this can be extremely helpful. not just from a support point of view, which we are there for, and you can talk to people who have gone through it and can say, oh, I remember what that was like at that stage, but we also do try to bring meals. We'll pay for parking if the families are in the NICU for a long time, that kind of thing. Those are the small things that we can do because we know how much those little things can take some of the stress out of your life at that point.
Oh, for sure. Again, like that, I imagine that's something that not everybody really realizes when they think about twins, is that you can have those extra complications that kind of come in. And I mean, just being a parent and being able to talk to another parent just to learn tricks and little things like that is so helpful. So incredibly helpful. But you guys also do some fun stuff too, right?
Yeah, well, we do group outings a couple times a year. We'll do events at the zoo, Magic Mountain, the movies, different things like that. We have Mom's Night once a month, and that's a night for any mom, whether they're expectant or their kids are teenagers now. They're welcome to come out, and it's very informal, sit around, chat, talk about different things. We do dad's nights, we do parents' nights, we do play groups with the toddler ages, that type of thing. And then we do things like our sale, which is a public event, which is not just for us, it's just something that we organize.
This is May 14th, the sale,
Yes.
open to the public, as you mentioned, at the Moncton Coliseum.
Yes. it's
You
on
do
the
these
Coliseum.
sales twice a year, one in the spring, one in the fall. So talk to us a little bit about this sale. What's the idea behind it?
Well, this spring will be our 15th sale. And we've grown substantially. We started in 2009 at the Louisville Baptist Church with, what did we say, 20 sellers?
Yes.
25 sellers. And now we have over 100. We're at 130 sellers this sale. So basically, anyone could register to be a seller, and you would sign up and tag all of your own used clothing, baby items, anything having to do with children, basically. And then you could show up on May 13th to drop off your items, and we put them out for you, and the public comes on Saturday the 14th to shop. Usually we get around 1,000 people from the public to come through our doors to look at all of the stuff laid out. And then everyone comes back to pick it up, and then they get a nice check in the mail in a couple of weeks after that. So usually we have over 30,000 items for sale from the 130 sellers. This time it'll probably be closer to 40,000 we're expecting.
I remember, again, my wife reminded me of this. I wouldn't have remembered this. But the very first item we bought for our daughter, who's 6 now, was at that sale. It was a little hoodie with a bunny rabbit. It's super adorable. We didn't know if it was going to be a boy or a girl, but we thought this cute little hoodie. And I remember it was at that church in front of Fabricville.
Yep, Louisville Baptist.
There you go, Louisville Baptist. So that was that was really cool.
Yep.
And now you guys have grown so much that you're in the Coliseum. I mean, that's fantastic.
And the sale items, we talk about it being baby items and children's items. That's clothing up until size 14, 16. Like, it's not just baby items and little kids' clothes. Most of the equipment is more baby items because that's what has the most resale value.
Right.
But the clothing does go right up to youth size 14 or 16. It all depends on what our sellers have to bring to the table each sale.
And quality control, you're the chair of quality control. but it is kind of a big deal. I think it's neat that you guys take that to heart to make sure that the items that are being sold still are of a certain quality.
Yeah, we've been trying to, over the past probably 3 or 4 sales, we really have put together like a quality control team where we test like electronic items, swings. We screen some of the clothes, like picking them up off the table if they are like, they might have like a stain that you missed at home, or like if the zipper doesn't work, things like that. We really want like our buyers to go home feeling like they spent their money and they got their money's worth for the items that they came to look at, because you don't nowadays, like, you don't especially when you have kids, like, not everyone has a lot of money. So when people shop secondhand, you want to make sure that the product that they're getting secondhand is of good quality, or like the best quality that you could offer secondhand.
Absolutely, for sure. Only a minute left. Donations are also at the cash. You guys have raised some great funds through that as well.
Yeah, we've raised over $10,000 that has gone towards the NICU at the Moncton Hospital. And so now this sale, when we ask at the cash if people want to make a donation, the money is going to go to the maternity ward at the Moncton Hospital for lazy boy chairs, so that the support people and breastfeeding mums and just mums who need a nice place to sit will have a
It's
little
nice
bit more.
place to relax.
A little bit more comfort while you're there. A little bit we can do.
That's fantastic. MonctonMultiples.com. You can also search for Moncton Multiples on Facebook, gang. Make sure you check them out.